not the leader of a cult. RabbitWithAxe.
Greetings, Stevens, and welcome to a bit of a weird video because I'm obviously on Rocket League right now, but this video isn't really just about Rocket League. It's kind of about microtransactions and the like in general, and I just thought, seeing as I have in my inventory, I have a few reward items, I might as well open these while I talk about it. So I'm not really going to be discussing the items, but I'm going to be discussing the system. So obviously we're playing Rocket League right now, and we have the drop system, which is very much one of those cases of essentially having loot boxes. And obviously before it went to free to play, we did have actual paid loot boxes. You got to buy keys to unlock the rare drops, and from those you would actually, you know, essentially buy the loot boxes. It was a weird system because you actually earned the boxes themselves and then would pay real money for the keys, for the way to open them. And there were ways of earning keys in-game, either as rewards for challenges or through other means. I can't quite remember, it's been a long time since it's been the case. But it was a interesting take on the whole loot box system, something which a lot of games, especially a few years ago, did have, including, until recently, Overwatch. And that is the main game that made me want to talk about this, because the changes that have happened in Overwatch and Overwatch 2 more specifically to the actual microtransaction system are really questionable. I don't really know how, you know, Activision Blizzard specifically, thought that they would get away with this, because at the end of the day, you know, when games like Rocket League went free to play, their microtransaction system changed to what you see is what you get, essentially. You essentially go into the store, go into the item shop, find whatever you want, buy the credits for it, and just buy the item. Or, better yet, in some cases, you actually... Oh, am I out of rare drops? Here I am. Or you actually go ahead and, you know, buy a pack or whatever for real money, which a lot of games, including like Fortnite, Fall Guys, stuff like that, have done the exact same thing for a very long time. Fall Guys, since launch, since initial launch, had that system in place. And then we have the current situation that's happening with Overwatch, where their item shop replaced the old loot box system, which most people didn't like the old loot box system. I personally didn't mind it, especially because it was pretty easy, as long as you played the game, to actually earn a lot of loot boxes. I think prior to Overwatch 2 releasing, I'd saved up about 70, and that was over the course of like 2 months, just from login bonuses and the like. So it's very much one of those cases where when I saw people complaining about how difficult it was to get stuff, it always confused me. But that's kind of beside the point, because in Overwatch 2, they replaced that system with a shop, which for most people would be more than enough. For me, it was a questionable decision, but I didn't mind it in the grand scheme. Something, though, that I noticed as we change over to some gameplay of me opening some Fortnite, let's say the World Llamas, is how the deals, the offers, the things that you actually saw in the item shop were always questionable. And sure, discounted bundles are something that we see in a lot of games. Fortnite also has this. But the difference is, in Overwatch 2, the discounts that you see aren't based on anything. You look at a bundle, and the bundle says that you save so many credits, or save so much %. But you don't, because if that wasn't in the item shop, you wouldn't be able to buy it, and you can't buy the items individually, which is actually an illegal act in a lot of countries, including Australia and a lot of countries within the EU. It's a really funny thing, and I mean funny in the, oh no, Activision Blizzard is going to be screwed, that they've gone with a system which in theory should fix the issues presented, but instead has actually made it harder for them to continue. And it is looking like a lot of people are trying to get legal action brought up against Blizzard in this regard, which is, oh boy, that is a really, really funny thing to me. For the longest time, wanted item shops to be the most common thing along with battle passes. And while battle pass systems, universally in my opinion, are pretty good value, as long as you're playing the game, you're getting content, and it's not unreasonably priced. When it comes to item shops, there are bad ways of doing it. Overwatch 2, and to a lesser extent Halo Infinite, which was also a recent thing, have done a terrible job of it. Fortnite, Rocket League, Fall Guys, games like that, Rogue Company, do a really, really good job of having a really well-balanced item shop with a lot of variety, a lot of decent priced items. Well, whilst games like Halo Infinite have a lot of overpriced stuff to a point where they actually started discounting items, like properly discounting, and decreasing the base value of certain items. And then Overwatch is so expensive, both in terms of its credit price and in terms of its actual item price. After they also increased everything from Overwatch 1, the things that were in Overwatch 1 that are now in Overwatch 2 are more expensive now. And then on top of it, they have these fake bundle discounts, which, as I said, goes against a lot of consumer protections in a bunch of European and Australia. Like, it's a really strange thing that they never checked these things, because the reason why they got rid of the supply drop system is the same reason a lot of games got rid of their supply drop system. Because it's becoming illegal in countries like Germany. Countries across the world, especially once again in the EU, are cracking down hard on these sorts of practices. And while I don't necessarily think it should get banned, I quite like the experience of supply drops as long as I'm not forced to buy them, as long as I'm gifted them like I am in Rocket League, that's fine. It's one of those things where they've literally changed from one practice that is illegal in some countries to a different one that is also still illegal in some countries. And it's just a matter of time before Overwatch 2 actually gets cracked down on and Blizzard actually gets affected by this. So it's just a really interesting thing to me. Obviously, when it comes to other games that have once had these supply drop systems, Fortnite is a great example, because until recently, it was a major aspect of Save the World, and by recently I mean about a year ago, that you paid for llamas. And now, for the most part, you can still use V-Bucks on llamas, but it's very few and far between, and they're mostly very cheap. Most of the llamas that you'll get are either free rewards, or alternatively spent with gold or any of the special currencies that you earn by playing the game. Supply drops as a whole have kind of just disappeared in terms of the paid function of them. And item shops are the future, but I mean, even as I'm still sat over on Rocket League looking at the actual item shop that's in here, there's no bundles here, there's no weird discounts, there's very many really cool items that are like this scary pumpkin, I might get that later. But yeah, you've got your paid bundles, you've got your credit bundles and stuff where you are actually getting discounts, but these are discounts on items you can get normally when they come to the item shop. Sure, you can't get these separately right now, but all these items that are in this bundle have been in the game, in the item shop, prior, at a higher price. So yes, you are saving, 65% by paying 500 credits, and that is accurate. You'd be paying a little over 1,000, a little under 1,500 credits normally to get all these items. And then at the same time, you have free stuff, you have event items, you have special theming stuff like esports. Item shops are a really good system for getting a variety of really cool items. It's just a shame that Overwatch has gone and kind of ruined it in this regard. So, yeah, that is really everything I have to say for my ramblings. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and ring the bell so you never miss upload. Otherwise, comment below, what do you think about all these systems? Do you think the item shop is a better system? Do you think that Overwatch is in big trouble with their current system? Do you prefer supply drops? Do you like the feeling of having a mystery item? If that's the case, I do very much recommend playing Rocket League and Save the World in Fortnite, because they both still have their equivalent to, supply drops. They're just in a different form. As well, you can always go back to games like Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, which I didn't even bring up in this video, that still has the supply drop system, and honestly, it's one of my favorite memories of playing Call of Duty was opening those supply drops. But in any case, that's going to be it from me. So thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. And yeah. Bye.
Look at the screen, you'll be fine. Culture's a disease, but worlds divine. I just wanna take